Hello and welcome to my attempt at a playthrough of Empyrion Galactic Survival. Uh, this is pretty much a space opera sandbox game. I did a review the other day, and I'm starting from the beginning. I've looked through the scenario, the creative, and scenario really doesn't have much of a choice. And the freedom. Which is like a cross between survival and creative. You get a few choices in creative, but you're kind of stuck to those to that solar system. Alright, I'm customizing my difficulty settings. I want the fast progression so I can get stuff built a little quicker. And this time I tried it with slow food consumption and slow oxygen consumption. Just because every time I turned around in previous attempts checking out this game, it just felt like it was too fast at normal. And that was without those boosts that have the negative effect on your food. And of course I set the crafting speed to instant and repair speed to fast, just so I can get stuff done. And using a seed close to the same number as another attempt at this, of which one episode I'm going to leave up and put with the second episode of this one to show a problem I ran into that I don't understand between the two videos. But that'll be next time. Alright, the biggest thing I've learned is, I think out of 4 playthroughs, I only had one that gave me a point.
Robinson Protocol UCH-001A initiated. Do you want to activate the tutorial help information system?
I'll go over the PDA in the next episode. And the whole point of this beginning is just to clear all the resources. Some resources don't trigger the Explorer token. That's mainly these 3 basic ones of plant protein, wood, and carbon, and raw stone. Now, as you get more advanced materials, you'll get a little kicker is an explorer thing. And they talk about that a bit in the PDA. And the whole idea is to get that going and start collecting the resources you need for other things. In the first 2 levels, you really don't want to. You really don't have much to use your points on. Because you pretty much have everything already on level 1. And I'm not sure if it's clicked because I picked the lower level ones, the base and the hovercraft, or not. But to get a hovercraft going and starter base, the best idea is to clear out this entire basin you fell into, at least on this world. Some of the rougher worlds, it's probably better to find safety. It's funny, you only start with half your health and hunger. Well, you always come back if you die with half your hunger gone. Yep. It's the general area you landed in. And coming down, if you took the time to spin the camera, you'd get a pretty good look at that whole hemisphere. And I'm clearing out the grass real quick so that it doesn't really hide my camp. And with instant, I only need the one. I'm kind of avoiding rocks until I absolutely need them. I'm more interested in getting bandages and a little bit of food going. And enough fuel to start collecting water and oxygen tanks. Like I said, starting out, I pretty much clear this entire basin area of all materials. And then you got to be prepared for a fight. Yes, my first death caught on camera. And half of that was because I turned on the camera and he caught up to me. You get quite a few choices. Your tent or the escape pod. It'll switch between the two. Home base, if you have one set up yet already. It could be a actual home base or a capital ship. I haven't tried that restart thing yet. And then there's the nearby clone lab. This weapon sucks. It's good against these insects as long as you're not caught by surprise, but it sucks. That's why as soon as I can, I try to find a shotgun and get that unlocked as soon as I get it so I can load up on ammunition. And I thought I saw a third one, so I was looking around, but it disappeared, or it was only the two. And you can't let something like what happened there get in the way. I finally got enough materials to get a hover car. And you can skip the timer. I think it was like 25 minutes by using the tent or a bed. And since I've been making fuel and such from the beginning. Now, fill all doesn't work with biofuel. I was able to fill it up halfway. And then continue gathering up supplies until you build your base. And with this, we can get around a little quicker on the planet. You kind of want to hit all those places, pull up the resources. And each time you find one, you'll get a few points of experience, which will speed you up. You can get through, find just about any information you need here. And if you can't find the physical cargo boxes or whatever, and it doesn't have the remote opening device installed on the thing, you can find your storage box the way I just showed. And it's not very fast, but it'll get the job done. And the next thing to do is decide which of the simpler bases you want to build, because you're going to need it just to build the more advanced bases. As you can see, there's a few places that got picked up while I was going around the outs, clearing out that basin top there that I crash landed in. Don't really got too many material deposits, just iron, copper, silicone, and carbon. And there's only 2 this time. One playthrough I've done testing this beginning, I've had 3 of the carbon, but I only had 4 of each of the other ones. When you're looking at the bases, it'll tell you, as long as you have the option turned on, it'll tell you what you need to unlock them to build them. I've used this one a few times because it's simple to build, but it isn't much different from just building the carbon frame, so it's kind of like, No, I have built this one in the past, but to get enough to be able to do the cobalting, you need the next stage of constructor, or get lucky and find a few pieces that you don't end up using somewhere else. Definitely want to get as much of this unlocked as possible, because besides the base, the next thing I'll build is one of the miners. So I can mine quickly, and then look at building one of the small vessels that'll carry the miner. That way you can go to the different planets and do all your mining and come back. Now these capital vessels are very expensive to unlock, since they're a combination of a base and your other vessels. But once you get one of these going, it's just free for all for the rest of the galaxy. Ooh, I'm really hurting on silicone at this point. I think I'll probably end up going to mine one of the nodes. Now, one thing you want to do if you're going to mine, make sure you clear out all the critters that are nearby that have a tendency to attack. The next video, though, all these guys were white. They weren't attacking. That's one of the things I want to show, because the insects weren't yellow. They'll attack you if you're standing still. And for some really strange reason, when I did this one, uh, it went way over my carry weight. And that's one I don't really understand, because I had that happen in this episode. And then I had what basically seemed like the AI turn off in the next episode. And like I said, I couldn't find the box, so I had to access it some other way. This is the biggest reason I turned the food consumption down to slow. I'd have been starving by now. And those stupid energy bars, which is the first thing you can make, you gotta eat a dozen of them just to fill up. Unless you're lucky enough to get a steak, and then you still gotta eat a few of them. But I pretty much cleaned this out of all the silicone. And that's why I said I think there was a problem with the game when I was playing this. And this will go so much faster once you get a drill. And then when you're done, you can fill over the hole. So you don't accidentally fall in if you're walking around. Because once this is all dug out, if you fall in, that's enough of a fall to break your leg and all. Just make a hell of a mess. Another item that seems to be hard to get a hold of is an auto miner. It's one of the reasons I try to avoid these deposits until I absolutely have to. Because I'd like to get a couple of the auto miners, get them on the energy nodes on the other planet. A silicone, a carbon, an iron, and a copper. So that all I gotta do is fuel them up and pick them up. For some reason, it let me go over. And I didn't see anything different in the settings. I mean, you guys saw me set them up. Alright. I was out exploring, trying to get some experience points so I could unlock things to build my base. And come over to the Fauna Knowledge Camp. We'll do the artifact camp in the supply depot later. Now these log books I found, just found one. It'll tell you right there on that computer where they're all at, basically. Not exactly, but where, this one's in this camp, this one's in this obelisk. Those are the easy ones to get because you can stumble across them. You visit this to get the key to the obelisk.
Matrix taker detected. Configuration compatible. Imprint and access permission enabled. Key matrix generated.
You don't want to lose that, and if you die, it's one of the things that doesn't drop when you drop all your stuff. At this point I was checking to see what else I had left to find. There's one more copper, one more iron mine. All the green marked guys locations. And now I build my base. And I took very good advantage of the fact that it was letting me overload, so I could just take the whole camp at one time. Now go over to where I'm going to set up the base. So I like to set it up in the flat plain that's outside the by the obelisk. For my initial starter base. And then set up the tent, do the sleep, and it's done. Grab another one of these tills. Sometimes it doesn't register, so put it back, go do whatever you got to do, and then come back for it when you're done. Because I've had that happen before. Well, I like using the drone when I'm setting a base. Because you can get some interesting views on it. Especially with the bigger bases. You really want to check to make sure it's touching the ground everywhere, or else it'll fall apart. Now all I gotta do is And for some reason, it's acting like it's fully fueled. And I haven't put any fuel in. Because it shouldn't be lit up like that. Yeah. Now those are the video tutorials and walkthroughs for building a base, building a hovercraft. There was another one there. Oh, I think it's about the survival tool. And we'll be finishing up here. After this, I get the fuel and actually let me make the fuel here. A little later, I'll get 9 grow spots in. And start growing wheat and protein vegetables. And then once I get some fuel, get that working again. And just got to keep that going. Since this was handy, I checked it out. And playing around in the Freedom one, I did a little bit of checking things. Yeah. Seems you go looking for the person that wrote that, or at least their family. I don't know what'll happen after that. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments, leave a like, give a subscription if you want. Have a good one.